Okay, guys, we are welcome back once again, and today we have to look at the history of Christianity in Ghana. That's what we always say is the arrival of Christianity, how Christianity came and settled in Ghana. That's what we are going to look at because once we are legends, well, we always believe that whatever we are doing today, it has been done already. So if you are going to church today, this means that church was there before you going there. So let's look at why and when the Christianity came to establish itself in Ghana. Once we are legends. We tap or we go into every corner to find out the legends, the story of the legends. The arrival of Christianity in Ghana. Let's learn about how the Basel Mission introduced Christianity in Ghana. So this means that it's a Basel Mission, it's a missionaries that came that introduced Christianity in Ghana. So don't think of any clan or any group. Don't think of anything. It's the Basel Mission that came to introduce Christianity in Ghana. Let's look at something about the Basel Mission. Basel Mission establishes in Ghana. The Basel Evangelical Mission Society was founded by both Basel Calvinists and Lutherans from Wittenberg, Germany. So these people were from Germany. It was active from 1815 to 2001. The Basel was active from 1815 to 2001. When it transferred its operation to a successor organization, Mission 21, the Presbyterian Church of Ghana was established by missionaries from the Basel Mission. So the Presbyterian Church. Sometimes some people say, hey, is the Presby is the oldest, or Presby is the first church in Ghana. And this was formed by the Basel missionaries. They transform or they create another mission or another church called the Presby. Basel missionaries for Christianberg Parish on arrival. The first missionaries were sent to the Gold Coast in 1828 at the behest of the governor of Christianberg. Slave trading forth after the Danish slave trade was established in 1803. So this were time our elders or our ancestors were passing through the slave trade. So during the slave trade is when a church was also introduced in Ghana. The only surviving missionary is cured by a herbalist. They all died of malaria and other tropical diseases, including a medical doctor who was supposed to take care of them, with the exception of Andreas Reyes, who arrived with two others on 21st March 1832. He defied Danish authorities and consulted a traditional herbalist who cured him. He worked at Christianborg Castle and eventually became the chaplain. Escaping to the hills of Akropong, in defiance of the Danish governor, Reyes established a mission inland in Akropong on the recommendation of Afro-European George Littrot, who advised that it was cooler and the lack of European influence made missionaries' work easier. They had set a bad example on the coast, so they tried to move out from the mission from the coast to inside or along the other side of the country, and that was a coupon. I think a coupon is found in the western part of Ghana. After initial resistance, he was granted permission by the Danish governor and King Nana Addo Dankwa. It's not Kofado. A governor and King Nana Addo Dankwa to settle in Akropong, but Rex was recalled to Switzerland in 1839 because he failed to make any convert to Christianity. According to oral tradition, the king suggested that he would have moved more success if he could show them black people who would read the Bible. That's where the education started coming in. From Basel Mission recruits from Jamaica. In 1842, the Basel Mission organized for Rex and his wife to sail for Jamaica to recruit former enslaved Africans as missionaries for Africa. These were members of the Moravian Church, a Protestant denomination which had evolved in Germany and spread in the Caribbean because it coexisted alongside the institution of slavery. So there's my question. My question is, the missionaries, were they the same people doing the slavery, or the missionaries, they were doing their thing and the slavery was also going on? That's what I myself don't think for. I myself don't understand. If you have concern on that, please kindly give us information, because we want to learn more. We want to learn more. We want to know more about. So let's continue. The Back to Africa movement. The Back to Africa movement. This was during the period when the Back to Africa movement was prevalent among freed and enslaved people in the US and the Caribbean. In April 1843, Rex arrived at Christiansburg from Jamaica with 24 free, formerly enslaved African Christians who helped him establish the Presbyterian Church in Ghana and Osu Salim Presbyterian Boys Boarding School. Wow. So the slaves they transformed them. Some were transformed to bring back to Africa to make the history of building a church in Ghana. They translated the Bible into local African languages, and that's where we started getting a Tree Bible, and developed a lucrative network of agricultural and trading enterprises. In 1850, the British bought the Danish slave fort, Christiansburg Castle, from the Danes, and in 1854 levied a poll tax on residents of Osu. When the locals resisted paying the poll tax, the British force bombed the town for 2 days using the warship HM Scourge, which destroyed the existing school building and many homes in the town. Alexander Clerk arrives in the Gold Coast. So all these people are the people who helped, who made it to constitute or build a church, first church in Ghana. Alexander Wade Clerk was a trained Jamaican Moravian missionary and the descendant of enslaved Africans. Slavery was abolished in Jamaica in 1838. He arrived in the Ghana Gold Coast in 1843 at the age of 23 years. So see, slavery was abolished in Jamaica in 1838. First deacon of the church in Akropong. And that's where Presbyterian started from, Akropong. First deacon of the church in Akropong. He was the first deacon of the Presbyterian church in Akropong and was initially put in charge of teaching the children of the West Indian settlers. He married Pauline Hasey, the granddaughter of Lebrecht Hasey, a Danish physician, in 1848, and they had 12 children, 2 of whom died at birth. So let's look at the credits they gave. All media. The story featured may in some cases have been created by an independent third party and may not always represent the viewers of the institution listed below who have supplied the content. So guys, this is the first missionaries in Africa. These are the first people who brought Bible. No, not Bible, who brought church in Africa. And let's have a quick run. Let's have a quick run and look at the first Bible that also came to Africa, Ghana. These are some things we all need to at least get small or a bit knowledge about for us to know when and how to make our things, because all what we say is the legends has done it already. So let's look at the history of Bible Society in Ghana. The history of Bible Society, and the introduction goes like: the spirit of nationalism and self-determination which gathered momentum in the period after the Second World War and which resulted in the attainment of political independence by many African countries, also imparted. Let me sit beside. Let me sit here. So I beg, please let me start it back again. The introduction of first historical proof of the Bible Society in Ghana. The spirit of the network. We are back again. The network was not going on. Okay, so let's continue. We were saying the spirit of nationalism and self-determination which gathered momentum in the period after the Second World War and which resulted in the attainment of political independence by many churches in many ways. Not surprisingly, the work of Bible translation on the African continent was not excluded from the impact continent. Not surprisingly, the work of Bible translation on the African continent was not excluded from the impact of this movement, and the post-independence era displayed much evidence of this. Towards the end of the 1950s, the BFBS decided to station personnel in Accra to facilitate a more efficient working relationship with the Basel Mission in their joint translation project by 1960s. The BFBS have taken a definite decision to set up an office in Ghana, which will also be the office of the Bible Societies in West Africa, based in Accra. In 1963, a conference of national church leaders in Limuru, Kenya, which was attended by a number of international Bible societies, including the BFBS and ABS, took a firm decision to work towards the formation of Bible Society on the continent. Following this decision, the BFBS then formed advisory board in African countries where it was operating towards the eventual creation of National Bible Society. So to Mambato Ibrahim to Kenke a cocoa a bread because yeah and then so guys sorry. Two. Let's continue because I just wanted my guy to bring me something to boost the energy. Because today we have decided to learn more about the legends who created the way or who paved the way for us to move on. So in Ghana, in addition to the operation of the advisory board, there was intense advocacy for the establishment of an autonomous Bible Society in the late 1950s and early 1960s, a process which apparently had the support of President Kwame Nkrumah himself. The advisory board in Accra had a number of prominent Ghanaian churchmen serving on it, including Reverend Albert L. Kwanzaa, who was synod clerical